Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another cast with your friend Yag, or, well, the guy yelling at you through the screen. This one was recommended to me by Miso Kai. This is a ladder match on Eye of the Storm. In the top right corner, we have Kai going. Must be because it's ladder. He always goes pink if he has the option. We have Kai going first land, Seraphim. We have Vayu going first land as Cybern. This is definitely strange and interesting map. I definitely have a lot of trouble on it. You tend to see ACUs going one of two directions. They either go this way or that way. If they both go the same direction, it can be a little bit of a hard-fought contest. Somebody could die early, but they can always get into the water, depending on how much subs the other guy makes. Navy plays a big role. Somebody who can get T2 Navy and cruisers can really control the entire center, shell these narrow land passes and prevent any air from going either way. But in the time it takes to get to T2 Navy, being able to send your land units and control the land masses can be crucial. There's not a ton of reclaim on this map, but it definitely is significant early. You need to be grabbing this stuff. This stuff is big. And the other thing to remember that not a lot of people know is there's little pylon things, 300 mass on each starting location. You have to make sure that you go in and you grab that, because that's a lot of mass. See, Kai does know about that. It's going to give him an early boost. Vayu does not appear to be going for it. He doesn't appear to be going for any particular land spam, any particular reclaim manually. Going for quite a land spam here, setting up 3 more land factories and another 2 air factories, so it's going to be strong in the air as well as on the ground. Kai has as yet not set up any additional factories. We will be seeing more factories out of Kai. He's not a one factory kind of guy. We're just going to have to wait a little bit. He likes to keep us in suspense. Slight early mass lead, but you could see that reclaim, that 300 reclaim versus that 0 reclaim. That's the difference. Right now, it's mostly sitting in his bar, but he has used some of it. He's going to be able to grab some early upgrades, perhaps, or what is he going to be doing here? Getting another land factory. Is Vayu stalling? Not yet. I don't know what's going on. Why? Where did all that mass go? Kai's sitting on a little bit more power. It's hard to say. I don't really know what happened to all that mass, because that's not enough power to account for the difference. Power generator is only 2 mass. Perhaps it's these Zuis that he's pumping out. Not a lot of combat units. We're going to be seeing Zuis headed down the middle, I believe. Yeah, headed right over here to deny this Navy. Definitely a strong play. I like that. I personally like to drop them, but this is definitely a cheaper version, and albeit you do have to start this a little bit earlier. This is detracting from his early engineer spam. So we'll see how this slows down Kai, or whether or not it ends up slowing down Vayu more than it slows down Kai. We do have air headed out. This scout probably going to be heading over this way. Wouldn't be surprised to see a bomber, a second bomber coming out of there. We need to see this scout moving out here, because if this scout can get eyes on these Zuis are not going to move across the water with a bomber on their tail. Lot of Zuis. Is this a hard all-in from Kai early? Commander also headed towards the middle. Grab those maxes, definitely important. A little bit of reclaim there, another 400 mass or so, 450. Definitely nothing to sneeze at. We got Vayu headed over this way. I can't see his commanders can move over this. Oh no. Definitely grabbing some of these maxes. It's going to be a long route for that engineer to take, but ACU should be able to grab over here, get these maxes. With Kai's ACU moving towards the middle, he's going to be weaker on this side here, and if Vayu can Vayu with the stronger land span, perhaps will be able to secure this area. If he can secure both of these corners, giving up this middle is not quite as much of a big deal, because he will have this. He will be able to easily push into here. Of course, if he got, you know what I mean, like that is definitely more than that. Definitely setting yourself up. These are a little bit exposed, but not to T1, interestingly enough. You really need the cruisers, or perhaps not the Seraphim destroyers won't be able to hit these on the walls, but their cruisers will. The Cybern Salem, I believe, will be able to fire over this cliff, not from this direction, but definitely from the broadside of the cliff. We do have this commander popping in here. We're going to set up base. We have scout planes headed over here. See what Vayu can see. Does he see this coming yet? Still in the blind. This is going to cross the zoo spam. Yep, there we go. He sees this. Whether or not he turns that or not. Probably assume that it's Zooey's at this point. Yeah, he's definitely going to have his work cut out for him. Because there's not really that much he can do. He hasn't set himself up in the Navy yet. If he had frigates like 1 or 2 frigates would just annihilate this and continuously annihilate this into whole stream. It's very easy to dodge Zooey fire with your frigates. In the meantime, they just put on there. But these Zooeys, looks like there's going to be a lot of heavy harass early from this side. The question is whether or not Vayu is going to be able to recover. Let's keep this up to +2. We have frigates headed out on the field. Kai setting himself up in the water before Vayu can get a chance, before Vayu has even been ejected from the water. We have Zooeys coming inbound. Yeah, that's not going to work. That's definitely pretty crucial, because the frigates are what he's going to be using to stop the Zooeys. And the Zooeys are going to be roaming all around here. It's hard to defend from all these points, especially when he's landing. It's coming up on all these beaches. But whether or not Vayu will be able to set himself up sufficiently in order to stop this is another question of time. We do have quite a few Mantis, though, in the base, ready and able. Taking down that Hydra quickly. Zooeys are shooting to the safety of the water, but it's still, even with that, with the afforded range, we do have the air coming in. Nice work from Kai. It's only that one air factory, though, so given enough time, he may be... Took down the second one. We do have Zooeys occupying micro here. Zooeys also coming up over here. So Zooeys everywhere. Get a little flybys here. Zooeys up in here could easily take down all this. Getting a little bit of... doing the thing I like to do where you start the mexes and then you upgrade them. You want to, at your leisure, maybe use engineers to assist them so you can sort of control how you're spending your mass a little bit easier. It does cost an engineer, though, you know, you gotta have him busy. A lot of times it can be worth it. We do have Kai, looks like all engineers up here. That's not really gonna be able to do much of anything. These Mantis are already in position. So Kai's sacrificing a little bit on the ground, but with a heavy harass, perhaps he'll be able to set himself up. Or if he can get himself up to T2 Navy, perhaps eco a little bit harder. He is advanced in eco right now. But yeah, that's not going to be a success. We're going to need to see some more land from Kai. Does he have any T2 max as of yet? You have 2 T2 maxes from Kai and from Vayu. Just the one. Alright. So interesting that Vayu is not more ahead in mass. Oh, the raids. Yeah, it looks like that must have been a drop up here. Taking out that engineer that was all queued up to take this. So this sort of land is now dead space for him. Definitely struggling. See these Zooeys coming in here, taking out this stuff, easily destroying all of this, even from the shore. So, a very strong unit, and the inability to get in the water for Vayu is definitely showing its mark here. We need to see him sneaking into the water somewhere else. Exactly. That's exactly what we need to see. The problem is that as Kai establishes himself and gets more and more frigates, it's going to be more and more difficult to get back into the water. And without a strong presence in the water, there's not really going to be much that this guy can do. He's going to be harassed from all over the place. Pretty soon there's going to be cruisers in the water, and he's going to be unable to secure the air either. And with Zooeys, bombardment, and all the different places, you can't defend the whole map. It's too wide at the front. This looks like Vayu is definitely on the back foot here. Let's kick it up to +4. I don't see how he's going to be able to come back from this. Zooey's headed in. Zooey's headed in, not enough land spam. This looks like it's gonna close out here. This has gotta be GG. He does not have it. Zooey's, there's just too much to do. And now they're taking out factories, they're taking out power. Is he stalling on power yet? No, he's stalling hard on mass. Trying to get back in the water, but it's gonna be too little too late. He's grabbing some subs. But that's not going to be enough. That's not going to be enough to stop him. Because Kai can put some subs in the water too. We got T2 Navy here. We're going to get our first destroyer onto the field. That'll be able to handle the T1 subs rather easily. We do have the Wagner, which is nice. Whether or not that's going to be enough to take out all these Zoos, if he keeps going into it, that high Alpha Strike, yeah, keeps microing those. They're very fast. Perhaps he'll be able to take out these Zoos. Whether or not he'll be able to, he could get into the water, but it is pretty weak torpedoes on those. Whether or not he's going to even be able to secure his own main bases is really up in the air now. Kai taking up this top right corner, setting himself up to take up over about half of the map or so, with the addition of the middle. Well, the eco position, Kai is firmly in the lead right now. We've got Zuis unbound everywhere. We've got frigates in the water. The harassment is everywhere. We have that first cruiser that is very crucial. I'd like to see some frigates to escort this. You have subs and another frigate from Bayou. Perhaps he will be able to destroy this. Not a lot of hit points on that cruiser. Not at all. The cruiser is going to go down, but not before probably taking out that. But now we have a significant land army as well, so he's establishing himself back into the land. Sub is going to be able to eventually take that out. Ground fire action, interesting. Yeah, let's go see that a lot. We have a little bit of a land fight over here. Let's keep it back down to +1. We don't miss too much of it. Yeah, it's definitely a little bit one-sided here. You can see this pushing in. Interesting enough, there's no Zuis in the mix here. They're all in the water. As they come in, they're going to be able to do what they need to do. We got Wagners in the water. Wagner's very weak torpedo damage. Very weak. It's basically nothing. If this runs in directly, if there's going to be a little bit of a problem, the Zui's back up. If the Zui's coming first, there's not enough power here from Bayou. Does he have overcharge? No, and he does not have enough power to use it even if he did. ACU coming forward. I think what we're going to see is just a little bit more ecoing from Kai, perhaps, and then we're going to see it close out. Because with this much of a lead, there's no reason to throw it away. We do have the Zuis inbound. A little bit of inaccuracy on those shots, but they do manage to take out that BD. FAM's headed in. There's not a lot of sub coverage on the field for Kai, so this commander could hide in the water, but that won't really do him any good because he needs a base. A little bit one-sided there, but there we go.